To figure out what's required for Division I coaches, where you stand, and what you might need to address, you first need to understand how coaches evaluate. Of course, Division I coaches and college coaches at all levels are going to have different preferences and priorities for player attributes, different roster needs from year to year, different hitting philosophies, and different position value philosophies, or just different ways of doing things in general, but all will follow some variation of this process that we'll outline. These keys are the 3 pillars of evaluation, metrics formula, and the sliding scale. Understanding these keys helps you hack the recruiting process. It helps put you in the driver's seat where you gain some control. You're no longer blindly spending and attending showcases. You're working off of a plan. You may end up even taking a break from showcases to focus on a specific skill or strength development based on what you learn from this process. You may narrow your focus of schools or adjust your expectations. You become more selective about which showcases or camps to attend because you're no longer wasting time and energy and money. In the early stages of recruiting, coaches are going to judge your hitting potential on these 3 factors: what you look like, your size and level of physical development, passing the eye test and looking the part, what you do, your metrics and measurables, your bat speed and exit velocity for hitting, as well as some speed and defensive measurables, and lastly, how you do it, your mechanics. If and how you generate bat speed, whether or not your barrel takes an efficient path to the baseball. Generally, you'll need 2 of these 3 pillars to be a prospect. The metrics formula. Your metrics equal your size and strength, your physical development, plus your mechanics. This is basically the 3 pillars expressed in a formula. Your metrics are a byproduct of your mechanics and your strength. The 3 pillars are closely interconnected in this way. We'll talk more about absolute and relative metrics in the next section, but absolute metrics are actual Division I benchmarks of actual Division I players right now. Relative metrics are relative to your age, your year, your strength, or your level of physical development. Next big key, the sliding scale, essentially means the more physically gifted you are, the more you can get away with, and vice versa. The opposite for smaller players is true. Smaller players have less margin for error than more physically gifted players. If-then statements, it's a theme throughout whenever we're discussing the sliding scale. Essentially, it's a give and take process. For example, if a player's undersized, then they need plus metrics and defense. If bat speed is just average, then maybe bat path has to be a plus for that player. If metrics are just average, then maybe plus defense will be a way around that. So your metrics are basically a byproduct of the other 2 pillars like we discussed. Your mechanics and your strength, or what you look like, can set the ceiling for your metrics, what you do portion of the 3 pillars, and depending on your mechanics, how you do it. Continuing with the sliding scale, you need 2 out of the 3 pillars generally to be considered a Division I prospect. But you may lack size, but your mechanics allow you to meet metrics. You might overcome poor mechanics because you're so blessed with strength and athleticism that you exceed benchmarks despite your mechanics. You may lack metrics, but your mechanics are so good that added strength will get you there eventually. So this is a quick rundown of the basic self-evaluation process that we're going to get into in the next section. With the 3 pillars, we're going to determine physical type and level of physical development, physical ideals or prototypes for each position by age progression. The ideal Division I, 6 foot, 175-pound shortstop or center fielder. Maybe he was a 5'9", 145-pound high school sophomore. Determine your metrics based on your age, position, and physical development versus the Division I benchmarks to see if you're on trend. Division I bat speed is generally in the low 70 range on bat sensors, 90 plus mile per hour exit velocities. But what were the metrics of that 6 foot, 175-pound shortstop when he was a 5'9", 145-pound sophomore? Lastly, determine how mechanics impact your metrics in overall position profile. Then we'll use the metrics formula and sliding scale to refine that evaluation throughout that process and determine strengths, deficiencies, position fit, and eventually develop a plan.